geologist? You're the girl who just...
Well, she just defended one of the nature reserves. I'm not sure which one exactly, from a company that sells petroleum. They wanted to exploit that zone, and they were able to defend that. And then she just got married with her boyfriend of like 8 years or so, and they went for honeymoon to Cartagena, and in the way to Cartagena they were killed by the government, and that was just, they said on the news that it was a robbery, and that they were drug addicts, because government thinks that if they are drug addicts it's okay because they weren't good for society. But the thing is that the way that they found them tortured. They found that almost nothing was robbed, but they were tortured. So that's not a robbery if nothing is robbed and they were tortured and found in a really bad condition. So that's mostly the dangers that happened with it, because most of the biologists in this country are just threatened. Because they want to defend the nature and want to defend our country from that. It's really hard actually to live here because of that. Because the government, if the government doesn't like you, the government will kill you.
Right.
And that happens a lot with a lot of movements, a lot of people that is these social leaders, social leader, they are killed here, like a lot of times. I have met one that you will love to hear her story. It's a really hard story, but one of the stories that she told me about was when she was on the Amazon, and she had another friend of hers that was also a social leader, and she just changed her hair because they were just being threatened to be killed, and she had to move out from there, and she asked her friend to go with her, and her friend was so stubborn. She said, "No, it's fine, they will never recognize me." 1 hour later she heard the news from a friend that she was killed.
Really?
Yes, she was killed.
And what was she, a geologist as well, or just a...
No, it was not a geologist. She's she was she moves with all these with the natives.
Right.
She is actually an Afro-American, and she moves. She has all this movement of her culture, and with the rights for the natives and the rights for women and everything. That's what she does. And even with just that, they are being threatened, because for them natives are just annoyance, because they have a territory and they don't like that, because that territory could be exploited by them. And she defends that, and that's why one of her friends got killed by the government.
Wow.
That is usually what happens.
God. So it's like you've studied to be a geologist, and you're finding it difficult to get a job, obviously, and you're working now in a call center.
I work now in a call center mostly because here it's really difficult to get money.
Yeah.
In a sense that this country is really expensive, because they just rob everything, so it's more expensive for people. That's what they do. That's their strategy. Make every year more expensive, so they can get richer and you get poorer. And also because I want to study biology. And yes, it is a really hard job for all the people who wants to work correctly on that, and not just work for the government. But I think that it's worth it a little bit.
Yeah.
I do believe it's worth it, although it's really dangerous.
Yeah, sounds
And not because of the animals. The animals are not the dangerous part. You will believe that because we live in America, and here the Amazons are really dangerous and there's a lot of poisonous animals. But no, they are not the dangerous part of the job. It's the people. You have to be careful.